Professor Stephen Hawking once famously cautioned that if aliens visit us, the outcome would be much like when Christopher Columbus landed in America, which didn't turn out well for the Native Americans. He wasn't
Well,
very keen on us trying to make contact with anyone in outer space. However, in your new book, Interstellar, I want to read it. I haven't had the chance yet because it's going to be published in a week. I believe you advocate for the exact opposite. What gives you this confidence?
because in the case of Columbus, he was a human and he found humans just in a different geographical location. In the case of the visit by some advanced civilization, first of all, they may be very different than humans in the way they are constructed, but also they may have evolved technologically to become something that is way beyond us. Okay, so the situation is like having a biker on the street, look at a colony of ants in the pavement. The biker doesn't care less about the ants, whether they go into one crack or another, whether they belong to one colony or another colony. Although from the point of view of those ants, it's extremely important. They basically compete with other colonies and, like just like nations here on Earth. So obviously the ants may want to believe that the biker cares about them, but they see the biker moving so fast that they can't make sense of it, and would resemble more or less the way we look at them. Another way to think about it is us looking at our technological future. It may look to us incomprehensible, just like a cave dweller going to New York City and looking at all the gadgets around, wouldn't really figure out how that is possible, and would have some awe looking at those things, and come back to the family in the cave and say, there are some miracles out there that we cannot really understand. And so I think that would be the natural interactions, and I don't therefore not afraid, because I don't think they care about us. I think it's a signature of self-importance. When you are afraid of something, you think that the other entity has is actually trying to compete with you. But no, if they are so much superior, they don't care about us. And on the other hand, it's an opportunity for us to learn from them. Okay, so that's the way I see it. Just like if you come to a class and you see there is a much smarter kid, it would make sense for you to learn from that kid in the class, rather than worry that the kid may harm you.
So you're saying that if they wanted to, because they're so advanced, they could have crushed us already if that
Oh
was their
yeah,
intention.
that's another. Definitely, they could have done it long ago. Why would they wait for this time to do it? Yeah,
Just build a
that's
highway like in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Build a highway through Earth. No questions
yeah.
asked.
Well, for so many millions of years, we were not even distinguishable from nature. Like we were just like animals.
Right.
Um, so the humans came to exist a few million years ago, and most of the time we were in caves. We were just like animals, a little bit different, but not very different. So only over the past century we started being different. Maybe they didn't even notice that. But at any event, what I'm saying is we have an exponential growth of our technologies right now, and if you extrapolate that 1,000 years into the future, or 1,000,000 years, or 1,000,000,000 years, you know, just think about what they may have accomplished by now.
Professor, you said you don't like science fiction, but I gotta ask you this. When we picture aliens or extraterrestrial life, what do you think we get most wrong usually?
Oh, think that biological creatures would visit us. I think it's unlikely, because travel through space is very hazardous. There are cosmic rays that can damage our body very quickly. Of course, maybe biology will evolve in the future. Like we know of worms that were found in the Siberian permafrost. Just a couple of months ago, there was a report about them. They were revived after 46,000 years and came to life. And even though they were frozen for 46,000 years in Siberia. So maybe there is a way of preserving biology for very long periods of time. We haven't figured it out yet. Um, So until we do that, I would be skeptical that we can survive for so long. And it makes more sense to me that we will send AI astronauts that do not have biology at all, that are just technological, because in principle, they can have 3D printers, they can reproduce themselves once they get to a planet and use the raw materials. So why carry those bags of water, what we call life here on Earth? Why carry those bodies of water with you on a journey that is so long and so dangerous? If you can, in principle, replicate them using the raw materials on another planet. So the way I would think of it is seeding the galaxy with life as we know it, not by taking the life from here and bringing it there, but instead using the raw materials there to make life as we know it. And that to me sounds possible. Within a century from now, we will have the technology to do that. And biology does it already. If you look at the dandelion flower, it sends out seeds with the wind. It doesn't connect them with an umbilical cord, doesn't give them guidance what to do at all. It just sends them out, and they carry the DNA of the dandelion. They make many more dandelions. We can do the same thing, send probes that would self-replicate, just like biology does already.
Professor, if other civilizations are there or were there, or aliens, do you think they have a sense of humor? Do you think a sense of humor is like a universal law, like, I don't know, mathematics, or some say music?
Well, I do think that a sense of humor improves your longevity. You can live longer if you do have that, because if you get aggravated by any setback or any pushback in life, and there are many of those throughout life, if you pay too much attention and get angry, it basically, it's like erosion, of metal, like it eats into you. And you see those people who are very upset at what is happening around them, and they develop gray hair very quickly. They don't last very long. So if you want to live long, you better learn how to ignore things that upset you, and always have a forward looking approach, like uh, being an optimist, because life is a self-fulfilling prophecy very often. If you don't believe in something, it will not happen. So for example, I went to this expedition. What is the chance of finding millimeter sized spherules at the bottom of an ocean 2 kilometers deep across a region of 10 kilometers? Zero. And I could have listened to the people who tell me, why are you going there? It's a waste of time, waste of money. And I said, instead I said to them, I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm doing the heavy lifting. You just sit back and relax. You can be a pessimist if you want. But the point is, just by being an optimist and going there, we were able to find those things. Okay. And it would have been very easy to give up. There were many failure points that one can imagine for this expedition. First of all, maybe the location of the meteor was wrong. We wouldn't find anything. Maybe we would not get funded. Maybe I would not be able to recruit qualified engineers that would design the appropriate machinery, the sled. Maybe the sled would never get on the ocean floor. Maybe it would never collect enough materials of spherules, of the meteor. And then maybe we won't be able to find them relative to the volcanic ash, the black powder. Or even after we found them, maybe we won't have the mass spectrometer that allows us to tell the composition.
Wow, a lot of
And
things
so
could
there are
go
so
wrong.
many.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So you think sense of humor and positive outlook on life go hand in hand? So aliens, even if they have a very advanced technology, they're still laughing at fart jokes.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's I think in interstellar space, um, survival of the fittest applies, just like Darwin imagined it. Except in space, it's those that survive very long, and that means that they send probes outside of their home planet, because eventually they'll die on the home planet when the star boils off all the oceans there, like the sun will do to us in a billion years. So you want to send things out, and you want to be optimistic, forward looking. You want to send whatever you want to replicate, and you want to be joyful. And part of it is laughing.
All right. Thank you to my lovely patrons, Taichi, Carmen, and Veronica. Thank you for your support. You're amazing. If you want to support Eurotrash too, you can do that. Just go to Patreon and find me there. Right. Thanks again.